Today I'll be working on a 2014 GMC Acadia.
The truth.
Today I'll be changing out the coolant temperature sensor. This is the part number for the AC Delco brand and the GM brand. As you can see, the temperature gauge spiked completely down, indicating that we have a bad sensor. While we're in here, go ahead and pop your hood. Before you get started on this job, make sure the engine's cooled off enough, because when you extract the plug, it will shoot hot coolant out at you if it's not cooled off. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull this engine cover off, but first you gotta take off your oil fill cap. Mine will come out, there it goes. Now we can pull this off, get it out of the way, and don't forget to put the oil fill cap back on so we don't drop anything down in there. Now, the sensor we're looking for is right down here next to the dipstick. You can see it. Shining silvery right there. I'll move the wires out of the way. That's it right there where my thumb is. All right, so once you've located it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and pull back the heat shielding that's on it right now. See if I can do it one-handed. Just kind of pulls back up the wire loom. Got it fed up a bit. About as far as up as it'll go. And it gives me access to the retaining clip that's on the bottom side of that. Sorry, it's not the greatest position to put a camera, but it's about the best I can do. So here's the best angle I can get for you. This is the connector right here, and this is the heat shielding, this silver piece right here. There's a little clip on the back side of this connector. We're gonna have to pull it out and then squeeze it. I'll show you how it works once I get it out of here. All right, so I already got my socket on the end of it down there. And I'm also gonna be using a swivel head with a long extension, and then my ratchet to break this thing loose. And there's our old sensor. Some coolant didn't come out with it, but not a whole lot. So just be mindful of that. Here's a real quick side-by-side with the old one and the new one. Obviously the new one's gonna be a lot shinier, hasn't been in the engine yet, but you just wanna make sure everything matches up. You can always check the thread pitch. It's gonna be the same. You can kind of line them up, see if it lines up perfectly, which I don't know how well I can do on camera, but it does line up. And then you wanna make sure your connectors are the same too. I'm gonna check and see which way the connectors go, because it's only gonna fit one of two ways on this end here. So I'll check that out here in just a second. All right, so I just checked it to the connector here. It looks like the little triangle side is gonna be the one that fits at the button end of the connector, where the square side is gonna face on the opposite end, the kind of downside. But you could double check it, put it in there. And like I was talking about, you gotta squeeze this little black button here to release the sensor from the plug. All right, so now I'm gonna just go ahead and reinstall my new sensor. You wanna make sure you run it in by hand first before you hit it with the ratchet, because you don't wanna strip it out. Now we'll go ahead and take our 3/4 and tighten it up. Now don't over tighten it, but definitely get it good and snug in there. All right, now we're gonna run our connector back down and plug it back into our sensor. And remember, this is only gonna fit one of two ways. Once it's clipped on there, you can go ahead and push that little red tab back in place. It's kind of hard to see it, but you can definitely feel it. I just pushed it with my thumb. Now go ahead and slide the insulation back down on top of the connector as well. Now we can go ahead and open our oil fill cap, put our engine cover back on, and don't forget to put the cap back on. Let's go test it out, make sure it's working properly. Now with the vehicle running, go ahead and check. Yep, our gauge is working and we don't have any check engine lights either, so it's a good sign. I want to apologize for the red tint that was in that back half of that video. I had an umbrella up over the car to kind of block some of the sunlight as I was working, and didn't realize how red it was going to turn until I went to edit. But yeah, I was using that umbrella just kind of give myself some shade. So yeah, I hope it didn't ruin the video for you, but I'll try and do better next time. Well, I hope this video helped. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. If you like the music that was in the background of any of these videos, check out the artist's SoundCloud. I'll put the link in the description.